Hello again, YouTube. I am back with a little bit more reviewing. It's pretty quick because I have a lot of stuff. Like I said, I have a shopping addiction, so I just have a lot of stuff that I thought I would love to do reviews on. Okay, you can say bye when it's finished. Now, as I mentioned in my previous extended introductory video, I did say that I was going to be talking about a lot of random stuff. Right now, I would love to review. This is the LiveScribe. What is this? The LiveScribe Smartpen 3. Now, I've had a LiveScribe pen before, and it was not the 3, it was the Echo. And even though the Echo was okay, it did not compare to this one. Now, the reason I absolutely love this one is because it's got this great new feature that is gold. It's gold for people like me, because I am not good at putting a lot of my ideas directly into a word processor and having them be very coherent. However, if I take the time to write my ideas down, they're in a much better pattern, they make a lot more sense. Unfortunately, going from what I wrote on my notebook to typing it on the computer always gives me a lot of hassle, because my ADD is just like, it's crazy. Even though it's medicated, still, I have a really hard time going from my mind to written to typed up. So honestly, I'm in college, and when I have to turn paperwork in, I have a real hard time with getting it, actually typed up and turned in. And that's when I discovered the LiveScribe 3. Now, what this does, this nifty, wonderful, wonderful godsend, is when you have a LiveScribe notebook, which has a special kind of dot paper, it doesn't work with regular notebooks. So that is a bit of a drawback, but if you buy the notebooks, it's completely awesome. You can use just one of their bigger notebooks for all of your classes, because what it does is you take your information that you wrote and you pass it on to the LiveScribe app, which I actually have on all my electronics, but because my son hijacked my tablet, we're going to go ahead and look at it on my phone. Let me bring down the brightness a little bit. This is my Nexus 6, which is my baby, and I absolutely love it, and I will not go to anything other than a Nexus. Shout out to Google. I absolutely love you. My LiveScribe app. Tap it open, and you see my notebooks, and it's turning my Bluetooth on. I turn it off so that it doesn't kill my battery. But anyways, what I write, it gets uploaded via Bluetooth to my app. So I have something randomly written here, and if I can find a good place, you can see that it looks like it's handwritten. Now, it uploads exactly how you write it, and it can usually, well, actually, it's an exact replica of what you wrote on the paper. What I love about the LiveScribe 3 is that when you find a page and it's got information that you need to turn in, let's say in my case, if the page wants to cooperate with me, we move over from page to feed, and this breaks down what I've written in different little chunks. And the super awesome nifty thing it does is I swipe and it types up what I hand wrote. Excuse me. Now, the great thing about this is that it generally recognizes what you are trying to write, and there's only the occasional thing that you need to fix. But it's a lot easier. You upload all of this onto, say, Google Drive or a PDF or any kind of file that will make it easier for you to transfer it to your computer. I use Google Drive. I use Google Drive for everything because I'm able to access my stuff all over the world. And, I don't have to drag USB drives and all this other information from home to school. I just have it on my drive and I pull it up on a school computer without any issues. I put them all together. I check my grammar and my spelling as necessary, and what would usually take me anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, depending on the length of the paper or the job, easily takes me about 15 minutes, because everything that I wrote down with my LiveScribe pen gets transported to my app, And then the app for the LiveScribe 3, not for all of them, just the LiveScribe 3, because a lot of the other pens actually use Evernote. The LiveScribe 3 is the one that you use with the actual LiveScribe app. And you just have that quick swipe when you go over to the feeds page, and it makes your written word look tight. Let's see if I can get a good... Okay, I'm gonna tap on this. Okay, if I can get it to see at the bottom, this is actually the app translated what I hand wrote. Like, it looked like this before. I swipe and then it's typed. So all I gotta do is if the game itself chunks it up into little pieces, I put them all together. The only issue I have, and I will let you know this ahead of time, just so that you're prepared and help in making your decision. When you export whatever you wrote to Word or WordPad or WordPerfect or whatever you're using. I'm not a Mac person, so I don't know what word processor Mac uses, but it is compatible with both Windows and Mac, so that won't be an issue. The issue is that everything comes out in like this line. And instead of it going, taking up an entire line from left to right, you have to go to every line and just kind of, backspace until it makes one line. It's a little tedious, I'm not going to lie, but it still cuts down on the amount of work you have to do. It's only a major problem when you're doing, say, a 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 page paper, and you don't upload and go through your work page by page. If you do your entire job and wait until the end of the paper to do your editing, then it is going to be very tedious, and it's probably going to add easily another 30 minutes to your entire process. If you go page by page, which sounds a little annoying, but if you go page by page, it makes the whole process seem at least a little shorter, and it actually is shorter itself, because you get really bored when you get to like page 3 and you're just like backspace, one line down, backspace, one line down, backspace. So that is definitely something that I wish the developers of the app would kind of update and, improve on. It would be a lot better if, you could just have regular format, like you upload it into something and don't have to go line by line. It's also a little bit annoying when you do emails, because even though you can email directly from the app, the email will show like this very narrow line of information. Like everything you write is going to be set up in a very narrow way, and it's going to look really weird. I mean, if it's not a professional email, who cares? But if it's something for work or school that you have to show some sort of professionalism, I do recommend you editing it before you click send, and don't send directly from the app, even though it is an option. If I'm emailing my sister, I don't care, because it's not like a really big deal. Anyways, so the LiveScribe 3 has this little tip. It's kind of rubberized because it is meant to be a stylus. So if you have some sort of electronic that uses a stylus, like if you're using it with your tablet, it's very convenient. You just go from stylus to pen. Pen for the notebook, and your stylus for whenever you need it. Now, when you go to charge, this took me a long time because it's not actually in the instructions. I had to search the internet to figure out how to charge this. This comes off and you charge here. Now, it is a micro USB, a standard micro USB, so, if you lose the cable that comes with the LiveScribe, you can use the one for your... My son makes me laugh a lot because I can actually see all the stuff he's doing behind me on my screen, and it's really funny. But you can use anything from your tablet charger, your phone charger. My Bluetooth speaker uses the same thing, so I use the charger for that. I mean, I interchange all my chargers because, well, I can. Everything I have is pretty much, except for my GPS, everything I have is micro USB, and I'm really glad about that, and I'm kind of mad at bad Google, for switching over to the Type-C, because you're making my life more complicated. It's the only reason I haven't moved from the Nexus 6 to the 6P. I really want the 6P, but I really don't want to have to change so many of my chargers because I can't just have one cable. I don't know anyone that can have just one cable other than my mom, who is 60 something. Anyways, I have a cable on every single port in my house. I mean, I buy cables like every 2 months because if one of them's not working, I replace it with two. I don't buy one for one. I buy, every time I lose one, I buy two because everything I have is, uses that kind of cable. And we have my tablet, my son's tablet, my Kindle, my phone. Well, I have two phones, so both of my phones use the same kind of plug. And as you saw, my Bluetooth speaker, which I got from Amazon, super awesome sound, also charges through that. So very much all my electronics charge through that. So I just want to go ahead and say that again. Bad Google for bringing in this whole Type-C thing and, kind of being the first ones to bring it in to the US. I extremely displeased with that, and I'm generally not displeased with Google. I am a Google fanatic. But anyways, that is it for the LiveScribe 3. If you have any issues with getting stuff from your head to the paper to the computer, I definitely recommend this because it's almost like one-stop shop. You write whatever you want to write on the specific LiveScribe notebooks, which actually aren't that expensive. I buy them in 4-packs on Amazon, and I think it's like $25 for 4 notebooks, which sounds like a lot when you think about it and think about how many sales you have at the beginning of the school year where you can get notebooks for like 99 cents at Staples, but it's not the same kind of thing. I honestly use both sides of a page when it comes to the LiveScribe notebooks because I don't actually use the notebook itself for studying. I just go on my notes on the app or online. Yes, baby. I'll fix it. Give me a moment to finish this video. So, I highly recommend this pen. It does last a good amount of time. If you charge it and happen to not use it, it lasts a couple of days. Once you start using it, I haven't actually had the opportunity to let it die. Every time I stop using it after an extensive period of writing, I just hook it up on the charger. Now there is another thing about the LiveScribe pen. There is not a lot of options when it comes to the ink cartridges. Now I have a set here that I bought from Amazon. I buy a lot of my LiveScribe stuff through Amazon because it's not carried at stores locally. I've only found one Staples that had it. It was like 2 hours away from my house, and there's actually no guarantee that's actually going to be there whenever you actually drive there. I've had that happen to me before. So this is blue ink, and it's specific for this LiveScribe pen. The other LiveScribe inks don't fit it. I know this because with the Echo that I had before, I just, for the sake of trying to see if they were just trying to get my money, I tried to put some of the replacement cartridges I had from there onto this pen, and they do not fit. They are not long enough. There is only one company that I have been able to find so far that does replacement ink cartridges, which is actually one of the ones I'm using right now. Why I like the generic, is what we would call it, inks. I get these from Amazon, and the company that makes them actually understands that some of us, even though we're not doctors, have chicken scratch. So this is actually a fine point, and it writes really well. I don't write really well, but the pen does. And it writes so much better when it's the fine point than when it's the medium point, which it comes standard with it, and also which you can get through LiveScribe and the actual LiveScribe name on it. So that is my review of the LiveScribe 3. Absolutely love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Aside from what I have reviewed, there is also a recording aspect to it. The notebooks actually have the features here. You just tap on them with your pen and it activates them. I don't have too much experience with it because I'm actually legally not allowed to record what's going on in my classes because people do volunteer personal information while in discussions. I do, however, have to say that before I found this out, I did used to record my classes. I recorded about 2 of them. The sound is pretty good, depending on where you were. Considering I was in the last row, it was impeccable. Because, I mean, it's just a pen. Like, you really don't expect it to be able to record that well. You can attach the recordings to your notes. So those are features that I know it has, I don't really use because of my situation and what I use the pen for. I don't want to get in legal trouble, and I also don't want to go through all the paperwork and all the hassle of getting permission from every single student in every single one of my classes to be able to record. And it's also going to be a restrictive environment for my peers and for myself, because I'm not going to share as much if I know it's going to be recorded. Even if I'm recording for myself, it just, you never know how things happen, how things end up, if I might lose it, if I misplace it, because my head is, I don't lose my head because it's attached, but I just absolutely love it. I bought it on sale on Amazon for $99. It was like a Black Friday 2015 sale, and I absolutely am so glad that I spent that money. It is an investment, absolutely an investment, and not a waste. I waste a lot of money, honestly. I don't know why. It's just a bad habit I have. I get it from my mom. But anyways, absolutely recommended. Now that is the LiveScribe 3 Smartpen. And remember, you charge it from here, the tip comes off, it's a little stylus tip, it comes off, it has a micro USB charger, and if you want to go with fine point, you have to look on Amazon. And, you know, I haven't found those sellers through any other website, just Amazon, but it gets really quick. I ordered it for same day. There was an issue at the post office, and I didn't receive it when I was expecting it, but I still got it, and I still absolutely love the fine tip instead of the medium. I'll use the medium until I run out. But also, you should know, LiveScribe customer service is amazing. I have had a lot of bad experiences with some customer service, but when I emailed, because I'm not a big phone person, I hate being on hold. When I emailed LiveScribe and I told them that the ink that actually came with the pen was giving me problems, it was not flowing properly, and this was the same day that I opened the box. It came brand new from Amazon, and it was just not flowing. They sent me a whole box of, I think I got like 9 replacement inks. And that's a really big deal when you consider that I'm not paying for any of it, and they're really just kind of trying to maintain good customer service. I mean, I had 1 ink in the pen, and it was malfunctioning, and they sent me 9 to replace. I do think 9 is a strange number. Like, why couldn't just you do 5 or 10? 9 is kind of odd. I am a 5s person, but I am still so in love with them, and I just want to give a shout out to LiveScribe and say that you guys are awesome, and I just absolutely love your products, and I will probably have to start buying more notebooks because I'm running out. I literally do use just 1 notebook for all 4 of my classes, and then just upload all my information and put them into little folders. Like, these notes are for Education 130, these notes are for literature, these notes are for comp. So really actually possible, if you take the time to organize, to only use 1 notebook for all of your classes. I haven't gone beyond 4 classes. I don't know if you had like 5 or 6, if that would be very possible. You probably wouldn't make it through a whole semester, but I'm able to get through a whole semester of 4 classes with just 1 notebook. So again, love you, LiveScribe. Love your product. And if your main deal is really getting things from the paper to the computer, I a million times recommend this. Totally 5 stars. Haven't had any issues with it. And I don't have the best writing in the world, and it recognizes most of the stuff. The only thing it doesn't recognize is if you scratch something out. It ends up just like putting the word in and underlining it. But that's an easy fix when you upload it. Anyways, so again, love LiveScribe. Totally recommend Smartpen 3 and the large notebooks. So, yay, LiveScribe. Thank you for the replacement inks. And I hope that my video was able to let you know on some of the pros and cons of the LiveScribe pen. And I will see you next time.